Well, that was bullshit. I don't think the intro played, did it?
Yeah, it's literally just us staring at each other
What the
in
fuck?
silence.
We are off to a
Yes!
good
You're
fucking
fucking
start.
killing it.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 166 of Ghost of the Night, a paranormal and true crime podcast. I hate when we change shit up, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm old and having senior moments.
I mean, you can say that all you want, but I'm the young one, and I just learned how to edit video and shit.
Well, it's not that hard, as you can see. Tonight we are doing near-death experiences. I think it's a fascinating topic that I've wanted to cover for a long time now, and I finally said let's do it. Before we get started, don't forget like, share, subscribe, all that happy shit. We greatly appreciate it, and the only way we will grow, the only way we will grow is with your help. If you want to show support, go to patreon.com/GITM podcast, and you can get bonus material if you become a Patreon subscriber. So now follow us on all the social medias, and there'll be a list in the description after this episode's up.
Instagram's the most entertaining one.
Yes, because you do it.
I'm fucking pissed.
Hey, we're on Getter now too.
What the fuck is that? What's up, Izzy?
Izzy's here. It's a new Twitter type.
Is it within the Twitter sphere, or is it some other shit?
No, it's some other shit. You know, the First Amendment shit. You know how people get blocked.
Everybody, I don't fucking know.
Rogan made a big deal.
Of course he did. Rogan makes a big deal about fucking everything.
He did. Remember that he had the doctor on who got banned off Twitter. You don't listen to Rogan,
rarely.
But he got on Getter, and their users went up from 1 million to 8 million or whatever. Don't quote me on those numbers in a day. That is the power.
Goddamn, boy.
That is the power of that shit. But tonight we are doing near-death experiences. What are they? And do we think they are just a chemical rush at death or a lack of oxygen or anything like that? Or is there something to it? Are people stepping into the afterlife and getting a look at, or a look behind the curtains is a good way to look at it. Before we get to that, how was your weekend?
I worked a lot. I didn't work a lot. I worked all weekend, but I worked a normal amount.
I did not work.
Had a couple drinks last night. Nothing crazy. I was actually out of there pretty early.
My weekend was shitty.
I think I was out of there by halftime of the second game.
My weekend was very shitty.
Got my dick kicked off for a couple hours during that Bengals game. You know how that goes.
Yeah, but my weekend was shitty.
Go on.
Figuratively and literally.
Did you shit yourself?
No, I wish that was the fucking problem.
Did somebody else shit on
sewer line back up?
Here?
Yep.
Ooh.
So my research is a little light today.
It's a little shitty. You got shitty research.
A lot of money later, draining pipes, doing plumbing. I was knee deep in shit.
Gross.
Well, not literally knee deep, but I don't like shit, period. And when shit's flowing over, it's a pain in the ass. So I'm not a happy camper, but I'm happy to be here and talk about near-death experiences.
So is your pooper working?
Yeah. Actually, I think you last time you were here, you said I'm going to go destroy your bathroom. I think you literally fucking did.
I did say I was going to blow your bathroom up.
I think you literally fucking did. You blew my bathroom up.
What can I say? My butthole's a little stinker.
All right, but that was my weekend in a nutshell. So I'm just happy to be here.
A shell nut.
What? Oh,
what?
I was reading Izzy's comment. All right, near-death experiences. Let's start off by kind of giving most people know what a near-death experience
I would hope.
But it's
pretty self-explanatory.
For those stupid people out there, a near-death experience, or NDE, for you
Redditors and shit.
Yes, is a profound personal experience associated with death or impending death, which researchers claim share similar characteristics. I don't think so. But we're going to talk about near-death experiences, but we were going to dive into. I've talked to a lot of people who have had near-death experiences and have developed some extrasensory
sensory.
Sensory. That's the word my dumbass is looking for.
Sensoritorical.
Yeah. Perception.
Sensoritic.
Get that sixth sense.
Sensational.
Yes. Sexual healing.
Sexual healing.
But that and I think that's fascinating because I've talked to many people who have had certain near-death experiences, and I don't think it's limited to near-death experiences, but they have
Well, it's not
gained
the
some.
near-death experience that we're speaking on. It's what may or may not come from the near-death experience. Because near-death experience, there's no arguing that near-death experiences are real things. People almost die
Right.
very regularly.
And they do die for a brief amount of time.
Yeah,
But that experience that
I
they
did
have,
I did it on your toilet the other night.
yes, and you fucking killed the sewer. I'm going to get a letter from Hamilton say, don't let Travis over there anymore.
I've been putting in work in a lot of fucking Hamilton toilets. I actually used a bathroom toilet in Hamilton a couple months ago. It was unavoidable.
Yeah, I know.
I was in the middle of shopping for my goods, mostly, chips, orange soda,
Right.
the
But
necessities.
yes, you got to have that shit.
Pepto Bismol.
But I've spoken to a lot of people that have had near-death experience, or I don't even think you have to have a near-death experience. You have to have some sort of traumatic event. I think near-death experience is actually highlighted a little bit more, and you get a lot more activity, one might say. But I think that there is something to it. Maybe it's possible that experience or that trauma does open something in your brain.
Yeah.
Maybe it breaks down that filter that we have, and it all depends on whether you believe consciousness is generated between your ears or somewhere else. And if it is somewhere else, then maybe there's a filter, there is some sort of firewall that does not allow us, while we are in this realm, in this life, to experience the whole truth. Nothing but the truth, so help me God.
You can't handle the truth.
Right. I can't handle Scientology. A Scientologist.
Hamilton Plumbing can't handle my shits, apparently.
Yes. But there is something to it, because I've spoken to many people and seeing that they do have some extra senses. They can sense a little bit more. Now, I'm not saying they become full-blown television psychic, because you and I both have that opinion on those cock munchers.
Called Miss Cleo today. Didn't she get fucking locked up?
Or was it, who was Whitney's aunt? Dionne Warwick had the 1-800 psychic line back in the day. But I think there is something with near-death experiences.
Near-dick experiences?
I've had a bunch of those, but that's beside the point. Story time with Phil. Truth.
Yeah, talk about near-dick experience.
All right. No.
Interesting.
Now
we're talking about something. This other shit, fuck this near-death experience shit. Talk about your experience with dicks.
No.
Go ahead.
Just a little one
now we're talking about the important subjects that the people want to hear about.
Yes. Just a little one that I have.
Phil and dicks.
All right, whatever. Now, people have experienced these there's a lot of experiences, I should say, that people have experienced during an NDE.
Really? There's a lot of experiences that people have experienced.
You got me thinking about dick. I'm getting all worked up. Jeez. Okay. Out-of-body experience.
Oh man. There's a lot of pisses I've been pissing lately.
A lot of people, one of the characteristics, or
almost dying
or getting close to it, or actually dying and coming back, is out-of-body experience, which is,
See, but is a near-death experience if you technically die?
Yes.
Like if your heart stops and you stop breathing?
I think so.
Isn't that just like
you come back? Now,
isn't that just like having an extra life in Mario?
That does not work, because that guy that tried that shit, that was in prison for life. He died.
Oh yeah.
He died and came back and said, I think I served my sentence. You revived me. I'm out. Let me have the fuck out. It didn't work that way for him, but that's okay. But out-of-body experience, where you actually leave your body and you're in an aware state. You're experiencing things. And when you do, they revive.
Subconsciously conscious.
When they do eventually get revived and come back, their body snatches them back. They still remember this shit. Which then that's where you get the bright lights and all that shit. The tunnel, Elvis talking to you. Some people see Jesus. Some people see Alanis Morissette as God. I don't know. But most people that have these experiences have a visual stimulation. They see something. Some have an
And
auditory.
we're talking about near-death experiences,
Near-death.
not the near-dick experiences, right?
Well, either way, they work the same way.
Okay.
They have auditory. You know, they hear things. They hear somebody talking to them. That's not a doctor or whatever saying "come to the light" type shit.
I was gonna say, like, couldn't that just be like, oh, we're fucking losing them. Somebody call George Clooney.
Clear. But
give me 1,000 cc's of monostat D.
Okay. Or they have a feeling of peace or peacefulness. They, a sense of belonging. Then, all the pain's gone. A calmness comes over them, which, a lot of people have. The light phenomenon, seeing the bright light or the tunnel.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, you just get to a point where you accept it. Do you accept it, or is there just a shitload of fucking hormones being released from your body? Because your body's like, yep, this is the big one. We're fucking going now, boys. Well, pack the fucking overnight bag, Dolores. We're fucking going in.
We will get to that, because I got a little scientific explanations of it.
You got a little near dick experience?
Yes. Well, I have one of those every morning when I wake up. But anyway,
wait, how is that a near? No, because if it's your dick, it's not near
you
dick
said
experience.
Near little dick experience.
No, I said a little near dick experience.
Okay, I just
because there's no such thing as a near dick experience with your own dick. What do you fucking detach it at the end of the day? Do you put it on a charger?
I was
to your
married
bed?
at one time.
Yeah, I think you put it on your fucking mic. Is it like the magnetic charging where it just like flips onto the fucking thing?
I'm
you
old.
Take
It
your
needs
Apple
to be
Watch,
recharged.
You take your Apple Watch off and you fucking hook up your dick.
Yep.
Is it USB-C or lightning cable?
Lightning cable, because it's little. Anyway, my favorite thing that happens to people is the life review.
Oh, when their life
flashes.
Did you see the scientific theories behind that theory? The main one.
Well, we'll talk about when we get to scientific explanations. We can talk about that.
Well, what are we on now? Dick still?
We're talking about the things people experience.
Oh, okay.
We're just
dick. Yeah.
God, you are a pain in my fucking ass. I don't know why I do this.
Literally, it's amazing. This is like, can you believe this is why he brought me on?
Right.
Just so I can be the fucking stupid one.
No, but the life review is really fascinating to me. That you go through your whole life in that, a blink of an eye.
I hope that doesn't really happen.
And I've heard.
I feel like that happened to me, and I'm like, God, I was a disappointment. My dad was right.
And I've heard of people saying, an angel or a demon or whatever, some kind of being is going through this. If you're religious, you're sitting at the pearly gates and they're going over, okay, this is what you did, this is what, they're reliving your whole life. Now, if somebody's watching that with me, I'm definitely going to hell because I've done some fucked up shit my day.
But if you repent in the eyes and the word of the Lord,
Saint Michael or whatever, whoever's sitting at the pearly gates going, you did what with peanut butter and a donkey? What the fuck? This isn't your first near dick experience.
Oh, and by the way, on your way back to hell, you left your dick on your fucking
charger,
on your whatever the fuck, whatever kind of charger that is. I don't know why I have my microphone so high up right now, but I like it. I feel like Lemmy from Motorhead. He did. That's how he fucking in like live shows. His mic was like that.
Yes.
The ace of spades.
But we got life review. We've got people have went to other worlds.
Don't mind the clicky clacky noise of me adjusting my microphone because I'm a child and I can't not play with it.
Yes, but people have went to other worlds in their near-death experience. They have even experienced precognition. Went to the future. There's one story I'll tell here real quick. A guy had a near-death that I heard. Had a near-death experience, and the woman that was in this experience with him, he saw like an angel or somebody. It was a female, and when he came back, I'm just paraphrasing the story.
She was like one of the nurses.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I went too far. He saw a lady in this who he interacted with a lady in this near-death experience, and he was distinctly remember she looked so familiar, very familiar. Didn't look like somebody she necessarily knew, but was very familiar. He got brought back to life, and he was dating a girl at the time, I want to say, or they were just friends. I can't remember. But anyway, they were close friends or dating, one of the two.
Or she just said he was just a friend. But she did know, in fact, that he had what she needs. But she said he was just a friend.
Yes.
Oh, while we're on the subject, R.I.P. to Meatloaf
Oh yes,
and Louis Anderson.
yes, I saw that.
Did you actually see it, or did you see it because I posted it
No,
on
I saw
Instagram?
Meatloaf. I saw Meatloaf.
I was shocked that when I posted on Instagram, Louis Anderson's picture and like RIP got more likes than, not that I give a fuck. I don't care about the likes on stuff like this, but I was surprised that Louis Anderson got more than Meatloaf. Because Louis Anderson isn't really like, Louis Anderson's a well-known human, but not to everybody.
He's
Like
all-
guys like us know who Louis Anderson is, just because like he was still, he had that, whatever that kid's show was. I think it was called Louis. He had a
Right.
cartoon when I was a kid. And then other than that, he's been a very active like writer and comedian and shit for my whole life and a big portion of yours. So I'm not surprised that you and I know about him, but I feel like more people would know about Meatloaf.
But Louis Anderson, in my opinion, no disrespect, no disrespect to the dead. He was a great,
Fuck you.
he was a great comedian.
Yeah.
But he was always kind of a poor man's John Candy.
On camera.
On camera. I
Yeah.
mean, he was a much funnier well, John Candy didn't do stand-up. He was an improv guy, but Louis was more of a stand-up. But you know, now Meatloaf, I'm right, you're right. I am a little surprised, but Meatloaf is kind of such people in my generation, you know. I remember one of the first records I ever remember seeing was my dad's
Bat Out of
Hell.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and Meatloaf has such a wide scope and range of shit that he was a part of.
Right.
He was in Rocky Horror.
Yes.
He's in all kinds of films.
Oh yeah.
Half of his fucking big songs were made for films. Right. He was even in Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
He was in Fight Club.
Yeah. Bob has bitch tits.
Yes. You know, I had no idea.
I saw that too. Somebody posted that. It was like a fucking poster. It was like his name was Robert Paulson. I was like, rip. But yeah, he was in his performance in Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. That might be my favorite. Have you ever seen that?
No, I don't think so.
Tenacious D is Jack Black's band.
Yeah.
It's like a whole thing of like them trying to make it big and finding this like pick that's made out of the part of the devil's horn or tooth or some shit that gives people powers, and it's worked its way through rock. And Meatloaf plays young Jack Black's uber religious father, and it's so funny. Like he straight sings a song to him where he just straight says that his brother's 10 times better than him and Jesus loves him more. Like, and then Jack Black has a singing conversation with Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked. I didn't think he was that old.
And then sorry, excuse me. Once I started looking into it, and I'm not trying to sound like a dick, he looked like shit.
Oh yeah.
Well, when he died. When I saw him, because I haven't. I mean, how often do you look up Meatloaf? You know what I mean? Unless it's for a recipe. But I looked it up and I was like, damn, he does look as old as he is. Fuck.
Yep. But I didn't think he was that old.
Well, shit, what is he? 74?
74.
Louis Anderson was 68.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's our three, I guess, for the month of January. I mean, Bob Saget, Louis Anderson, and Meatloaf.
Here's the thing about Meatloaf, what I loved. He gave all fat guys the impression that they can land a hot chick.
Well, I mean, when you have pipes like that, Meatloaf can fucking rip it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the same thing. I say that all the time. Some fat guys are have an unfair competitive advantage in vocals. Like John Popper from Blues Traveler. That motherfucker, he literally whips his neck fat to get he does. You can watch him do it. He whips as somebody who likes to, I'm not a singer, but I sing a lot. I like to sing. I like music and shit. Like he literally whips his neck fat to like add like an intense vibrato to his vocals, and it pisses me off because he's always doing it with his fucking glasses and his fucking Indiana Jones hat, and the fact that he like just shred is the wrong word, but he blows the fuck out of a harmonica. I'm like, dude, you can sing like a chubby angel, and then you're laying down fucking just tasty licks on your fucking harmonica on 90s pop song. Well, indie rock, maybe alt rock. I don't know what the fuck to call Blues Traveler, pop rock, blues rock, or blues pop.
It was shitty.
I don't know, but nobody listens to fucking The Mountain Winds again, and that's the real shame here. R.I.P. Louis Anderson, R.I.P. Meatloaf, R.I.P. the good Blues Traveler songs that nobody listens to because all they listen to is fucking suck it in, suck it in, suck it in, if you're in tin ramping in because the heart brings you back.
All right.
Whatever the other one is.
Let's get back to
Why you wanna give me
NDEs.
the run around?
Since we're talking about death,
Well, this is a perfect segue because
Right.
if you don't know, Blues Traveler is the soundtrack to near-death experiences.
if you say so. What else? Precognition. You know, people have seen. Oh, I was telling a fucking story. That's right. Jesus Christ.
We had to pay respect to the dead.
But this guy had a near.
They didn't make it out of their near-death experiences.
Just to
We need to
recap.
respect and acknowledge that.
Just to recap, the guy that I was referring.
When I looked up Meatloaf to make sure he was dead, literally just a bunch of pictures of Meatloaf. Like I even looked up Meatloaf dead, and there was still pictures of Meatloaf recipes at the top, and I was like, "You motherfuckers, that looks delicious. Save that for later. Bookmark that one.
Save that. Mark.
How long do you think it's gonna be till people start putting Instagram pictures of meatloafs baked and then decorated to look like meatloaf?
People are
in honor
fucks.
of meatloaf.
People are sick fucks.
Meatloaf inception.
Yes.
Meatception.
I'm telling my fucking story. Quit talking about meatloaf.
Salisbury steak.
Okay. Anyway, this guy came back from. He saw somebody he looked familiar. Came back. His girlfriend / friend, whatever, who was at.
Do I know this person?
No, this is
Okay.
a story.
I thought this was okay.
No, this isn't. No, I listened to something.
Because I know we have a common acquaintance that falls into this category.
We do.
Yeah. From Roz.
Oh yes, no, this is not him.
Okay. See, it was fucking related to the topic.
Okay.
Chill out, calm down, take your fucking Zoloft, Barbara. Goddamn.
Hey Karen, watch it. But he came
Did
back
I tell
to
you that nobody named their kid Karen in the country of Canada for like 3 months after that meme came out?
As they should not.
Well, I mean, it's Canada. There's only like 3 major cities. I'd imagine there's like 13 kids born a month. Other than that, it's just fucking like people bludgeoning baby seals to death for their pelts.
Yes.
Like, oh, that's a nice pair of slipper.
This guy had a near-death experience. Came back. That lady or his friend, whatever, was there at the hospital. And when he came back, he looked at her. He said, "You're going to have a daughter." And he realized in his NDE that the woman that he saw was his daughter or her daughter. Long story short, I don't know.
How the fuck?
Precognition, damn it.
But how would you know that?
Because she looked just like her. Just, you know how
maybe he just like came to a little bit and saw her.
That's possible. But they got married.
Or
they got married.
Death experiences and dick experiences are one and the same. And by nearing death, he foretold how near to the dick she would get.
Yes.
To get pregnant with this ghost woman, this ghost daughter.
Yes, but that is an example of precognition.
Also, check out Ghost Daughter airing live on the Disney Channel.
But most importantly, thing about the last characteristic of NDE is lack of death, fear of death, I should say. No fear of death after this. I butchered the fuck out of that. No fear of death. They do no longer fear death, which I've met people.
Infod.
Yes, I've met people that have had not even a near death. Yeah, have had near death and just really, really fucking close.
Yeah.
You know, maybe heart stop for a second, you know.
I mean, it could be anything. Like,
you don't want to party with that motherfucker.
Well, yeah.
Because that motherfucker will get crazy and does not give a fuck. So that is a good thing about fear of death. Now, why is that? Just because they get a glimpse of the other side? Or what they think is the other side? See,
that's the thing is like, is it a lack of fear of death? Or is it
they just accept it and know that it's not the
end? Because there's a difference. You know what I mean?
Let's be honest. The only reason people fear death is because of the outside possibility that it might be it.
Yeah, like we actually end.
There's nothing after that.
Like, I don't give a fuck. I say that all the time. Everybody's like, people talk about fearing death and shit like that. I'm like, why are you afraid of death? There's no point. It's coming for all of us. As soon as we pop out of our mom's buttholes, we are born and we instantly, the first thing we do is cry and start dying. Like, there's no point. I don't think you should fear death. I don't fear death. I don't want it. right now, but I don't fear it. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen. You can't run from it.
Right.
Like, I don't give a fuck what kind of magic pills Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk try to feed us. What the fuck? Did we freeze, or did I just look at it at the right time? Fuck it. I don't care. Whatever. But yeah, like, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Was that the TV or somebody outside?
That's a TV. What the fuck am I doing?
Leave the TV on for the chalupa, and that fucking dickhead doesn't even watch it.
I know she's in here with us being an ass.
She is weird.
I think is it freezing on yours? It might have been just me. Okay. Anyway, fear of death is very interesting. Like we just was discussing. You know, whether or not it's over or there's an afterlife. We fear.
That's what we fear. We don't fear death. We fear
the unknown,
the end.
Now there are probably some people that still believe in that fear hell.
You know, if the two options are real, I want to go to hell anyway. It's gonna be more fun.
I mean, the party's much better probably. The booze, hookers, and blow will be awesome. I don't think there's a lot of hookers and blow in heaven.
You would hope, if it's supposed to be all awesome and shit. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if hookers and blow.
Well, probably there's.
I'd be opting out of the hookers and blow. I could give a fuck about that.
There's probably hookers in heaven. They're just free.
You get your Pokemon card?
In hell, you got to pay for the hookers. Heaven, they're free. That's probably it. Anyway, let's get scientific. Now, there's scientific explanations because there's always those skeptics and scientists that say, bah humbug.
Yeah, there always will be.
Yeah.
It's what science does. Science is basically just the Debbie Downer of humans. It's like, this is how stuff works. Oh, that's cool. Also, koala bears have chlamydia. God damn it. Like, fuck, you dickheads.
Now, most of these, not all, but a lot of near-death experiences naturally takes place in hospitals.
Yes.
Now, their explanation for, not all, everybody's explanation, but one explanation that's been given, that the bright lights syndrome or whatever experience that people have had is, laying on the gurney.
It's literally a bright light.
That big white light, shining right in that's what it is. And when you die, you're still somewhat even when your heart stops, your brain's functioning for a little bit, and you probably can perceive something. So that is one of their explanations of that shit. Brain function. Now, this is a question of when brain function ends.
Yes.
When your brain dies, it generally you get a rush of chemicals. DMT, for instance, will load up in that bitch, which we produce DMT every night. It's part of the reason why we dream. A lack of oxygen. So your brain is essentially dying.
You don't say.
Your brain is essentially dying, and this chemical influx and lack of it just produces hallucinations.
So what you're saying is the best trip you can have is probably after you're already dead, and you're not going to know it.
Right, probably. But there are some scientists that do believe brain function does not die right away. It can last a little bit.
Yeah.
And
the big argument with that is that what length of time?
Well, that's what we're going to get into.
I heard like 7 minutes, which I find, I don't want to say impossible because I am not a fucking neurologist or anything like that, but I find that seems like an astronomical length of time for a human brain to remain functional after all other body processes have ceased.
Right.
There's no way.
Now there was a doctor that did a 4-year study. I think I forget when, early 2000s, I believe. Dr. Sam Parnia did a 4-year study of 2,060 patients with cardiac arrest. Found 9% of these survivors, 185 patients, had an NDE, and additional 30%, 618 patients, had some sense of post-mortem consciousness, maintained visual awareness for up to 3 minutes after cardiac arrest.
Even 3 minutes seems like a fucking ridiculous amount of time. Like, I'm thinking like maybe 30 seconds, maybe.
So 30% had some sort of awareness up
Well,
3 minutes after death
because
or cardiac arrest.
wasn't there a doctor that somehow actually experimented with this? Like with a person that had been killed or beheaded or some shit like that, and they like said their name a couple times or something like that, and like this head like actually like focused in on them after they said it or something like that.
Would not surprise me. Freaky as fuck, but would not surprise
It
me.
had to be the Nazis.
The Nazis did it all.
Yeah, they did. That wasn't a joke. I was like pretty much any fucked up experimentation, I'm just automatically Nazis.
The Nazis did it. So this is really where the nuts and bolts come together. Why can't it be both?
And we're back to near dick experiences.
Yes.
Go on.
Oh, we'll get into
Dick?
SEDs. I'm sorry, SDEs here in a minute, which is kind of freaky.
What's that?
Shared death experience.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, well, that put your nuts on that and tickle them.
That's a new one. Never heard that one before. Are we just going to start making those up now?
I'm making shit up.
Put the water in the ice tray and freeze it. How about that?
Anyway,
how about them clementines?
So, depending on this it kind of boils down to there is a difference between mind and the brain.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and if you think of your mind as kind of your soul or spirit or whatever, or your energy, works independently than your brain. And basically consciousness, where is it at?
Yeah, just I mean, you need your brain to function it, but
I mean, you'll hear story. I know there's been scientists back in the day, I guess early 1900s or 1800s, that did experiments about the soul leaving the body.
Yeah,
which is all bullshit.
The human body, it was we weighed the same body at 30 minutes after death, and it was 0.74 ounces lighter. Therefore, the human soul weighs 0.74. No, it's a fucking human body. It probably expelled some gas.
Yeah,
there.
It farted.
Yeah, good job, Aristotle.
It blew up the toilet of the hospital like you did mine, you bastard. Anyway, so that's been debunked. The soul does not weigh anything. If I had to guess and put all my money down on it, I'd say the soul doesn't weigh shit.
No, you would think.
I credit him for trying.
I don't. What the fuck about that? Like what? Because that motherfucker probably got some type of a grant from whatever government to do it. He was like, I need $4 million to do this. Why, Jim? Why the fuck do you need $4 million to see how much a goddamn human soul weighs? Swerve, bitch. Let's take a fucking U-turn and go back to the beginning of this here, Jim. You want $4 million to take a dead body and weigh it twice. How about this? How about I'll give you $40. You put $20 of it in your gas tank so you can drive downtown. I'll meet you there, and then I'll kick you in the balls until you're dead.
Yeah.
For asking me for $4 million to weigh a human body to see how much their soul weighs. And that's why I am not a CEO of a science corporation.
Good thing.
Although I probably should be.
Probably should be.
Because I'd be the one that's like, if you are tired of your psoriasis, take ististamesnestafnestester. Side effects may include all the cancer,
all of it,
all the AIDS, death, anal seepage, fucking everything worse than what you're trying to. If you have got hard boogers, take this pill. May cause testicular cancer, throat cancer, skin cancer, hives, fucking
explosive diarrhea,
polyps,
anal leakage,
everything.
What was I? Where was I at? So it all boils down to when the brain dies, and if the consciousness continues on. You know, and who the fuck? Why can't it be?
Well, and that's the other thing is like then you get into the argument of is it consciousness or is it just simple like reactionary brain function? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like just how a chicken can run around with its head cut off. Or that one fucking lived without a head for like 18 months or some shit like that. Yeah, you never read that story?
That shit
you never read that story?
No, I have not.
Yeah, no, there was a chicken that lived for like I think over a year without a head.
Bull. I'm
Look it up.
We don't have a Jamie.
It's
to
one of
look
those.
that shit
It's
up.
one of those interesting stories, just like Jeff the talking mongoose.
I will look that up after this podcast.
Ow.
What was that? You fucked me up with that. Now I don't know what I was thinking. I lost my train of thought with the headless
And
chicken.
that's why you bring in a fucking co-host.
Oh,
It might derail the conversation a little bit,
that's
but
what-
it gets you thinking.
that's what. Why can't it be both? The chemical, the rush of chemicals, the probably
Russian chemicals? What the fuck are we talking about here,
the
Phil?
rush of
Got it.
chemicals. Jesus Christ!
Got it.
The electrical,
Headless chicken.
the. Don't encourage him, please.
We have taken this podcast over.
The probably the electrical charge that goes to your brain when you die, probably. The
Endorphins,
endorphins,
all the other chemical reactions and shit like that.
because I've often said that, you know,
Nerves.
these chemicals in our brain might be that barrier that keeps. Earlier we were talking about there's a barrier here in our brains that doesn't allow us to see if there is an afterlife, if there is another side. Those chemicals are the barrier.
Yeah.
And when they, at the right mixture, this is not scientific, I'm just throwing out a hypothesis.
We're getting Scientological.
Yes. When you flood that and over flood the system, it breaks it down, and then you have this near-death experience. You are seeing the other side. So in both cases, near-death, the NDE experiences are right, and the scientists are right. Or
see, but if that's what's happening, you're having that big of an influx of hormones and chemicals within the brain and within the body and nerve, like just stuff popping off and firing left and right and shit like that. Could this all just be a case of mistaken identity because your mind is just kind of like short circuiting, really? It's like when you throw, it's like overpowering or not overpowering, overworking a computer. It just starts fucking freaking the fuck out because there's too much going on.
yes. I mean,
but
there's no right answer here.
Okay, are you coming up on, or did you see the scientific stipulation? That's the fucking wrong word. But the hypothesis behind the life flashing before your eyes thing.
I mean, I can't. There's the whole lights in the room thing, but
they say that there's a theory that the way your life flashes before your eyes. People have said that really happens.
The life review.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
That what that is like kind of a defense mechanism or like a coping mechanism. It just like your brain just automatically filters through. It knows that it's coming to an end, and therefore it's reacting and trying to save yourself in your mind.
It's kind of like a backup download.
Not even that. It's like it's trying to it filters back through all of your back memories of being alive, and it like kind of to make you, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but
obviously
you're basically firing off memories and visions of while you were alive to put yourself in a state of being alive mentally, like like I said, like a coping mechanism.
Well, that would
like your brain, like when you realize oh shit, I'm gonna die, your brain goes into overdrive and is like, no, we're not. At least if we are, we're not gonna know it. We're gonna feel happy till we're dead.
These are all, nobody knows. There's only one way to find out.
Only God can answer these questions.
When we kick the bucket.
So that being said, somebody DM fucking Morgan Freeman, because as we all know, Morgan Freeman is God. Yes. And ask him. Somebody get on that.
Yes, please.
You tell him we sent you. An email. He'll answer.
Yes, he will.
We have direct contact with Morgan Freeman. Elon Musk, as we talked about last week, the SNOOPDO double G, Snoop Dogg, Ice-T, the ghost of Mikhail Gorbachev,
Anymore?
and a talking purple Princess Diana bear.
Anyway,
we should do an episode on that. I could literally do a whole episode on Princess Diana. Maybe
we'll make that. We've been talking about doing a conspiracy.
I mean, there's a lot of conspiratorial celebrity deaths. A lot.
Oh, quite a few.
Most presidential assassinations. Do you think that Abraham Lincoln might have been gay, like they say, and that was part of the reason why he was killed?
Don't get me started on Abraham Lincoln.
I don't know why it's such a fucking big topic. Like, who the fuck knows? It was like 250 years ago or some shit like that.
Don't make me do math on a podcast.
Well, literally, there's not a single fucking human alive that can be like, oh yeah, he was, or no, he wasn't. Like,
no, Betty White just died. Jesus
why are we
Christ.
stipulating
Be
on
respectful,
this?
bitch.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I know what I'm saying. Cloris Leachman's dead. I think if Cloris Leachman's not dead and Betty White's dead, I'm fucking rioting. I'm just saying.
I don't think she's dead, actually.
Cloris Leachman? Really?
I don't think so.
She's gotta be like 106.
But what the fuck do I know? Anyway,
her fucking neck looks like my balls. Like,
we have talked about DMT in the past. That's one drug.
Yeah, we have.
I want to do because there are those people that believe that's the window into the other side. See those machine elves.
What?
You got
go on. Is this like an elf on the shelf situation?
No, people have seen what looks to be like elves. That's what makes DMT interesting. Everybody has the same or very, very similar. See the same people or the same types of people or the same types of creatures on a DMT trip.
Okay, here we go. Let's get some conspiratorial on that. Maybe that is because as much as everybody talks about how great it is and how it can open up your mind to seeing things in a different way, maybe that is government controlled.
Maybe. Or
just like how all the acid in the United States was made by like the same 3 or 4 guys until like 10 or 15 years ago.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or it could be, like I said just a moment ago, our body produces DMT. Maybe DMT has the same reaction on the brain on everybody. That's why they see this thing.
Yeah, you guys remember Chris Angel's Mind Freak? Welcome to Travi Angel's Mind Fucked.
Yeah, we're going to emphasize the word fucked.
Fucked.
But anyway.
Have you watched that show lately?
Mind Freak?
Yeah.
Is it even still on?
No, but if you go back and watch it, that motherfucker is the creepiest human being to ever be on television. He makes David Blaine look like a third grade school teacher. I
agree.
And David Blaine looks like he puts his fingers in people's butts while they're asleep and sniffs them.
That is it.
He does.
That is.
He just creepily stares at people while he does magic. He's like, what was this your card? Oh my God, it was. Like they start freaking out and he's just.
It's magic. But
no, I'm going to go freeze myself in an ice block for 48 hours with no food or water. No, I'm David Blaine.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, isn't.
Which we usually are.
Which we are. This is not a scientific podcast. If you come here for facts, get the
Tyler's
fuck
here.
out.
Hi, Tyler.
What's up, Tyler? What's the difference between. I'm an idiot when it comes to drugs. Ayahuasca and DMT. Isn't DMT in ayahuasca?
Possibly. I don't know the chemical compound. I don't know the hallucinatory chemical compound of ayahuasca. I think they're similar. If not, there might be DMT in it, but I know that they're one of them. The two are very similar in the effects that they have on the human body. If that makes sense.
Right. Now,
minus the puking.
I'm pretty sure.
I actually know a couple people who've done ayahuasca therapies.
I could be wrong with this, but I believe DMT, our body produces something. I believe our liver produces something to negate the hallucinogenic effect of DMT.
And that's why we drink, to kill our livers from killing all the parties that we could be having in our brain.
And I could be wrong on this. I think ayahuasca is DMT, except it takes out that it bypasses that defense that our
Yeah.
body creates. I could be butchering the fuck out of this shit. But that goes
Oh
into
no, I've
my
never done ayahuasca.
that goes into my
Yes, ayahuasca contains DMT.
thank you, Gregory. You're the man. That goes into the barrier issue when
I love how you looked at me like I don't know stuff about drugs. I'm like, motherfucker, I've never done ayahuasca or DMT.
But you have more experience in drugs than
I've
I
done
have.
acid and mushrooms. Way different. Like they're in the same category, but not the same.
I haven't.
We are not the same.
We are not the same. I do not.
Different, but still same.
But that goes into my point that DMT could be that barrier that keeps us from seeing the other side. DMT is the thing that keeps us, or is our link to the other side. But our body has that natural filter that takes it away, so we can't view the other side until you bypass it. That's interesting. Think about that.
Or
Or
we live in a fucking what's the word that I'm looking for here?
Matrix?
Yes, we live in the Matrix, and we're not even hooked up to the Matrix. The DMT is what is making us think that all of this is happening right now.
Well, and this is what's weird. You can get into physics and shit. Our reality is not what we think it is. This isn't a flat earth. This isn't drugs. We perceive the world in a certain way.
Shut up, stupid.
We take in light from the outside and we perceive it in our brain, our eyes and our brain basically throw the shit together.
Yeah, because I found out I don't know if it's a real test or not, or if it's actually valid, but I took a test that I saw, and apparently if this test is valid in any way, I am not only not colorblind, but have the ability to see more colors than a lot of people.
Right. And we only
Chickens can see more colors than us.
That's
scientifically proven.
We see in a very limited spectrum.
Yes.
There's a lot more going on.
Everything in our life is RGB one way or the other.
Probably in this room that we just
RGB, red, green, blue.
Right. But like this microphone, this table.
Yeah.
They're not solid. They're atoms moving around.
Yeah.
But we perceive everything as it is.
Right.
To where...
Did you know that if you took the blank space between all of the atoms that make up the entire planet and all of the things on it, and you removed that negative space between them, the Earth would be the size of an apple?
No shit. You're making shit up again, aren't you?
Look it up.
I'm going to be busy looking shit up tonight.
Again, yet another reason why I'm here.
The chicken...
I'm fat. Or I'm fat, sarcastic Alex Trebek. I'm just ready all the time. Did he die? He did.
Yes, Alex Trebek.
R.I.P. Alex Trebek.
Yes, he passed away. Finally.
And
I don't mean that finally in the bad. I mean that. Props to Alex Trebek. That motherfucker.
He's a bad motherfucker. He's a survivor. Go make up.
Pancreatic cancer is a nasty bitch.
Yeah, and he fought that motherfucker a lot.
I mean, I watched
multiple times.
I watched my uncle go down in a month with that shit.
Yeah.
And that he fought that shit for years.
Do you think that
and still was working?
I'm not trying to be a piece of shit here because I loved Alex Trebek. I loved Jeopardy. I'm a nerd. Like
we know
I love sitting and watching Jeopardy and just the Carpathians. Fuck. But do you think, what are the odds that there was somebody while he was dying, he's like saying goodbye to his children and kissing his wife, and you've just got like some guy out in the corner of the hospital room with a fucking Casio fucking keyboard just do
you think when he was diagnosed with cancer, the doctor came to him and said, "You have cancer"? He said, "Put in the form of a fucking question." No.
And then like he slowly fades out and starts going slower as the life leaves his body, and then everybody's like, "Oh no, Dad!" Like, and he started doing all that, and he just sits up real quick. He's like, "Double Jeopardy, bitch!"
Like
It just
Deadpool.
starts slapping
You
motherfuckers.
don't think he died like Deadpool and Deadpool 2? Well, when he didn't die. You know, he
Oh,
died,
after he got shot.
he died like 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just not ready to go yet.
Or the mask. He's like, "Hell yeah, he ain't."
I watched that. I watched Deadpool 2 this weekend.
I was
In the
here.
midst of my cussing out sewer pipes.
Yeah, I was
And you.
here. Wait, you watched it again
watched it
after
again.
that? Jesus Christ.
I watched it this weekend, like Saturday night.
Oh, yeah, I haven't been here since Thursday, have I?
Yeah.
Jesus,
Did we
time
watch
flies.
it Thursday too?
Yeah. You were watching it
I
while I
love
was
that
back
movie.
here editing those clips.
I love that fucking movie.
They're both amazing.
I don't know which one's better.
I don't know, that scene when he's got little baby feet and shit is hilarious.
Yeah. Anyway, where was I? What the fuck? It's all about consciousness. I don't know whether I don't know. I like to think that
It's like one of the biggest mysteries within it, or it's probably the biggest mystery in the human body at this point.
here
Is the like explaining consciousness and like past, well, the brain works like this, and in this lobe, and in this fucking this vector of the medulla oblongata.
I think there's a lot of evidence both ways. And I personally think the scientists and the skeptic scientists are probably right to a certain extent. Like in life, there's truth. The truth is always in the middle. There's everybody's. I think there's something to NDEs and to the skeptics.
Mm-hmm.
I think the truth's in the middle. But there's one story that
Wait, hold on. Are we saying something groundbreaking and saying that the proper information for a subject is probably in the gray area?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Trump 2024. Fuck you, liberal pussies.
No, don't get me started. I don't want Trump for president in 2024 either. Anyway, there was one story in the East story that I wanted to cover.
I want The Rock to run for president in 2024.
I don't know. But
I like explaining to people that are younger than me that you can vote on stuff that actually matters and just literally write in Spider-Man for a candidate and they will still count your votes on the actual.
I know one thing. In 2024, I'm going to get a vote for president because I'm voting for myself.
Yeah.
Even though that's one
I
job,
blew people's minds. I blew young people's minds explaining that to them. I was like, no, you can write in a name for your candidate and you can vote on the issues and they still have to count those votes.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter who you vote for. Your votes on the issues, as long as you're a registered voter, still fucking matter, Barbara.
But there is one.
Speaking of Barbara, how do you think Barbara Bush really is or was? I think she was 268 years old. That woman looked like shit the entire through the presidency of both of the Bush presidents. She looked like Queen Elizabeth in 1965, and she was supposedly only 30 years old.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Like she looked crusty and she was wrinkly and looked like she was covered in dead skin. Like somebody took like the leftover dust in the bottom of 1,000 jars of Mentos and just on her. She had a great hairdo though. She had that George Washington hair.
So Tyler said he had. Didn't I see on there? Tyler said, "Yeah, I have had a near-death experience."
Everybody in here, for the most part, has said that they've had some type of near-death experience or out-of-body experience.
There is one near-death experience story I want to talk about real quick, but before I do that, have you ever had one? Have you died?
No.
You come back?
Not that I know of. Every night in my sleep because I have sleep apnea.
You died a little bit.
No, actually, that's not true. Let's talk about a real near-death experience that I personally have almost every day. As a person that lives the lifestyle in the way that I live and my physical body in my day-to-day life.
Yes.
Every time I bend over to tie my shoes,
a little bit of you
I have a near-death experience.
Cuts off the
I go down there, okay, tie the right one, and then fuck, I got a whole nother shoe to tie. That's the closest I get to meeting Jesus on a regular basis.
I have not had a near-death experience. Well, I've never died that I know of.
Right?
I don't think so.
So that's my that's a fair point too. Is we all could have died multiple times. It just was in our sleep or something, and we kickstarted again because we have that. Our bodies do have that primal survival thing that it will jolt you with adrenaline if it has to.
The closest thing I know that I've had was when I broke my back.
Yeah.
I fell, and I fell like an old fucker that I am. I didn't break a
I
hip.
don't know why, but for some reason
I
all
mean-
I saw was you hitting the ground and just be like, oh, like as soon as you hit, it's just like you hear like snap, crackle, pop, and then also like a little, and you're just like, oh.
No, when I fell, I landed right on my ass, and I felt like
Ooh.
anybody, like if you fall on ice and just fall back and land on your ass.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how I felt, and broke my back. That's how old and crippled I or fragile I am.
I mean, I feel like that's probably more common than you would think.
Well, because of my spine was fused
That
solid.
is a straight shot.
Yeah, it was fused solid. It didn't hold up well. There was no give to it. But when I fell, and you know how when shit, it's a scientific fact. You perceive time. We perceive time, and when something like that happens, time slows down.
Time is a man-made construct.
But the way you perceive time slows down. Because I fell in slow motion
Yeah, because you're in awful pain.
before. I mean,
Awful pain will tend to do that as well.
when I fell, I was like, and it was slow motion. I was like, I'm falling. This is going to hurt. I remember having this conversation in my head as I'm going down.
Yeah,
I
I've never broken my back, but I've had plenty of situations where right before something happened, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna suck."
I hit, and I could. It was slow. I thought I ruptured disc because I felt I interpreted as my spine
Clanking together.
compressing and hitting together and just blowing out a disc.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what happened, but that's what it sounded like. I could hear it,
Yeah,
and feel it.
Ugh.
And this is, milliseconds probably, but it seemed like it was a minute.
Yeah.
And then I realized I wasn't fucking breathing.
Was that like Deadpool 2? Were you falling like, who can say where the road goes?
Yes. But once I hit, the pain hit, and I was like, I'm not breathing.
Really? The pain hit first?
Yeah. I was like,
Huh.
I'm not breathing.
See, that's weird to me because anytime I've like really hurt myself, it's always that moment of like, oh shit. And then you're like, oh fuck.
I mean, it was delayed.
Yeah.
It was after I felt that, but
Yeah, every time I've fucked myself up, it's always the first thing that goes through my head is like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
and I'm laying
And then you're like,
I'm laying on the fucking patio pavers outside, and I realized I'm not fucking breathing.
yeah.
And I'm sitting here going,
Well, it knocked the wind out of you too, I'm assuming.
it was I've had the wind knocked out of me. But
maybe your body just went into reactionary mode and it was just like, let's hang it up, guys. We're just gonna die here right now.
Well, that's what I was sitting there going.
I can't believe he died. Yeah, we can't explain it. It's like his body just gave up.
I was sitting there talking to myself, breathe.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, and it felt like minutes.
So you say you got the air knocked out of you from the ass up? You accordion to yourself?
You think air would have went in and come out my mouth? I burped or something, but no. But I was sitting there going, breathe. And I'm literally thinking this, I'm going to fucking die because I'm not breathing.
Yeah.
And this,
I mean, that's what it's like just when you do knock the wind out of yourself. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, that's much worse. But I've had the same thing, just like landing flat on my back where you're just sitting there and you're like, all right. Like, you know what I mean?
But what made it worse was how time slowed down. This felt like minutes. And I was only at probably a second, 2 seconds and a half. The whole time, what I just explained was probably maybe 2 seconds.
Was it like the movies? Could you hear your heartbeat? Like,
no, but I remember.
And then like everything's kind of like after a bomb goes off in a war movie, and then like you hear the oh my god, Phil, are you okay? And you're like,
well, it was bad.
And you just start fucking slashing motherfuckers. Like,
sad thing is
survival.
The sad thing is I was alone.
Safety first, kids.
I was letting dogs out, and that's why I fell, because of
Phil's just out here living life like fuck OSHA.
I was letting a buddy's dog out, and the dog was a big dog, a fucking horse, a mastiff, and it kind of got in my way. And
are you saying that there's a dog out there that's an attempted murderer?
She passed away. She's no longer with us.
Passed away or got the chair?
No, she got cancer, but that's another issue. That dog was actually cool as hell, but she was.
Other than that time I was up on that ladder and I looked down before I broke my back and she was just yanking on the bottom of the ladder.
But anyway, what I was saying was there was nobody around me except the dog. I'm laying down there, trying to.
The dog just comes up, starts licking you on the face.
Exactly. And just look at me. You all right, fucker? No. Then I said, okay. It
See,
took,
it sounds hunky dory and cute, but that dog's mind is working like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. Survive.
I was like, so
Does she have a fucking little a
no,
little thing of
no,
whiskey around her neck?
no. But so
Damn.
time went back normal to me. Then I was like, okay, I have to get to my car. How the I didn't have my phone. My phone was in the fucking car. I couldn't call for fucking help. I was alone with a fucking dog.
Yeah, you fucking wrap your arm around that big ass dog's neck. You go, ha!
So I had to crawl to my car, which is a good 7,500 feet. Crawl,
Fun.
get in the car, get in my phone. I made a phone call, tell the person I was staying with what happened. I'm coming back. Be ready. I might need help getting out of this fucking car.
Yeah.
But it was weird how time slowed down and it felt like minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the
God,
dog
how long did that car ride feel like?
oh, let's just say it was the bumps, fuck that shit.
Oh,
The
I couldn't even imagine, dude.
but and once the dog licked me, it kind of brought me out and time became normal yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fucking the weirdest fucking thing. I've been in other hairy situations where time seemed slow, but this was 2 seconds from the time gravity took my ass down to the dog licking me. But it literally felt like minutes. I mean, I was having entire conversations in my head. I was writing my will in my head.
Just laying there, like getting licked by a dog. Like, this is how it's gonna happen. I'm gonna die alone with a dog from blunt force trauma to my ass.
Yes. No, but Tyler, you're gonna have to tell us about you don't have to do it now, but we'll get with you.
Sir, you've got a severe anal concussion.
We would like to hear your near death experience.
We don't know what that means, but that's the best way to explain it.
All right, what are we fucking talking about now? Okay, let's get
you actually didn't get the wind knocked out of you. That's not why you couldn't breathe. You actually had the wind knocked into you, and then it was forced all the way up through your system and out again. You had the wind knocked through you.
Now, why do you? We know you're not big on psychic ability. You're not a big. What is your exact opinion?
I think
on psychic
I believe it and everything like that. I just don't put much
stock into it.
Into the ones like everything. The people you see on TV for the most part can fuck off, because even if they do have something going on, they're clearly exacerbating it, if you will, or blowing it out of proportion for the cameras and shit like that, which, more power to you, whatever. But like, most of the time, like, because it's even like we've even learned that shit. Like we know that there's like certain lines of questioning that psychics will use to gather certain information just from the way your face reacts to questions and shit like that. And they just fish until they get something.
Right.
Like
they're making a guess.
Yeah.
And they can make it pretty accurate.
Yeah. What was that? What was it? Fucking Family Guy or somebody made fun of them. They were talking about that, and they're like, I'm sensing a man. And they're like, oh, I had a father and a grandfather. They're like, I'm sensing a dead man. Oh, my grandfather died. I'm sensing no, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Larry. It's Larry. Larry's speaking to us.
We need to, Tyler asked, is this the main show or the poop show?
Aren't they all kind of the same thing?
Yeah, this is supposed to be a main show, but like most of our shows, they turn into a shit show. So the answer to your question is yes.
I kind of like this, though. I kind of like the, because let's be real. We know how it goes. Like, unless if you pick a topic, it usually ends up being a you show. And then if I pick a topic, it usually ends up being a me show. I kind of like it. I kind of like the off the cuff and then the informed one. Like even though for something like this, it's hard to be informed.
Like I said, there is one story I want to get to. I want to talk about because I think it is incredible possible evidence of.
Is it like a Rudy type story?
No, it's.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, you're going to hear it anyway. You're going to fucking be quiet. I'm turning your fucking mic down.
Rudy.
But let's get into the psychic. We got your opinion on psychic.
Okay.
Why do you?
Drink.
Well, I was about.
No, I'm listening.
I was going to ask you a damn question.
God, you act like I'm a co-host on this shit or something. What?
why do you think people can develop psychic abilities from this near-death experience?
See, now we're talking about something. Is it gaining psychic abilities, or is it unlocking potential that we already had?
Excellent fucking question. God, it's like we're here. We are fucking here.
We're so simpatico. Oh my god.
No, I think that is it. I think we all have psychic
I think it
abilities.
just opens up I think that personal opinion, I think that rush of endorphins and hormones, and because it then causes really these experiences, I would assume, cause massive chemical imbalances in the brain.
Right.
They have to. Even just like an injury causes a chemical imbalance in the brain. That's why you snap your leg, like, you know, having a sword fight at the Renaissance Festival, as we all do
Who
from
hasn't been
time to
there?
time.
we've
Sometimes you
all
gotta
done it.
dust off the suit of armor. You gotta polish up your nice 9.5-inch cod piece that is a complete lie. And you gotta go out there and you gotta rumble. You get out there, you whack men with iron, as men do. You come in hot with the mace, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But with those chemical imbalances, like I was saying, that's why you don't feel pain right away.
Right.
You're like, oh shit, this is gonna help. Like, but that rush of chemicals and hormones and for the thousandth time, endorphins, all that shit. I don't know, electrolytes, fucking calories, Republicans, all that stuff just starts rushing into your head.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it probably just overloads a certain lobe or part of the brain, and that part of the brain just doesn't snap back the way that it should. And now part of your brain is working on a level that it wasn't supposed to originally.
It tapped into
because it was damaged in some way.
It tapped into another part of the hard drive.
Yeah.
It's like the iPhones or the back door. There's always
some people would say like, oh, it accessed the left part of your brain if you're right brain. Fuck you, use your whole brain.
It's almost like there's
I hate that misconception.
There's almost
use both sides of your brain, just in case anybody didn't know that.
I heard a story where they have actually went in.
You sniffing me?
They've actually went in and separated the brain hemispheres, and people can do two different things with each hand. They could be doing something over here and be doing the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So that's, but for those of you listening, he can't rub his belly in his head. But I don't know what it is. Whether it is that rush of chemicals kind of overloads the circuit.
It's got to be, in my mind, it has to be some type of a chemically induced short circuit in the brain.
Right. And I've talked to people who have had this experience without having a near-death experience. Just had it extremely traumatic.
Yeah, it just happens,
A traumatic experience where it didn't almost.
So, Jim, tell us about how you became a psychic. Well, I was sitting there and I fatted real hard, and now I can see the fucking dead people. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Not even a near death, but like being in the accident or whatever and not dying.
Oh yeah, even being in like not bad accidents. Like there's that moment of, I don't want to call it a moment of clarity, but like there's that moment. Like I remember when I was a kid, like I was maybe 16, 17. Like when my dad rear-ended somebody, it wasn't like crazy. It was one of those ones where it's like, oh man, let's exchange information and both vehicles are going to be able to drive away just fine. Right. But like, there's like, you have that moment of just like you look up and you're like, it's like time stops for a second. You're like, oh yeah, this is about to happen for sure. The one that really fucks me up is when that happens, but it doesn't happen. I did that one time. Like I had to fucking floor my brakes on going on getting off 129, getting onto 75 north. Then you go around the whole fucking big fuck off area. I hate that fucking, it's like, ugh, eat my dick. But like, dude, and because this was one of those ones where everybody's like, were you texting or blah blah blah? No, I didn't do shit. I was literally driving. I looked down and pushed like next on my CD player. That's it. And in that amount of time, I look up because it clearly wasn't me and it wasn't the guy in front of me. I look up and I see brake lights and the ass end of this car higher than it should be. And I was like, oh shit. And I just slammed on the brakes and like some asshole started the whole thing. He wasn't paying attention and he fucking did that. And then you got that chain. And then next thing you know, I got a fucking Toyota SUV just around the other side because he had to go around because he wasn't paying enough attention to get on the brakes in time to not fucking. Ugh.
But
and like I had one of those moments like where I literally was sitting there like, this is gonna fucking suck, but nothing happened.
But those can what?
Oh look, a fucking spam account. That's how you know we've made it. We've got spam accounts coming into our live stream. What does it say?
Who knows?
Sister 19 LOL online. Hey, what's up with Russian writing? Nostrovia, bitches. Fuck off.
Now we're just gonna get fucking. If you can hack this old fucking computer, can you fix OBS for us?
Yeah. It'd just be like if somebody stole my identity, you'd probably be doing me a fucking favor.
You improved our credit score.
Right.
No, what was I saying? But like that traumatic experience, that can flood those endorphins could, or those chemicals rush the brain. Go get you something to drink. Could actually, yeah, go ahead and give me another one. There's a beer in there if you want a beer. Get me one of those. I'll drink an hour and 10 minutes into the podcast. But I think there is something to it that people that have near-death experience and traumatic.
Cream pie.
Hey, don't fuck with my.
I love oatmeal cream pies.
They're fucking awesome.
Unfortunately named.
Yes. I never thought about that till now. I think there is something to it where something happens when you have a near death or you have a traumatic event or whatever. I think there is something that could trigger a switch get flipped. And people, because I've met people and I've experienced, I've had people know things that they shouldn't know and they've had near death experiences.
Yeah.
And I know people who've had traumatic experiences that, have some sort of extra abilities now.
Mm.
So I think it's very similar.
Well, and then there's also the thing of like, if you've got that much of a chemical imbalance making things all fucky and weird, it could be bullshit. But you could have a person that it is bullshit, but they are completely convinced that this is a thing.
Right.
Even though you're sitting there, they're like, I can move things with my mind. Look at it. It's moving. And you're like, it's not fucking moving, Jerry. What are you talking about? He's like, look at it. It's amazing. I'm like Magneto. Like, shut the fuck up. It's not moving. What are you looking at? Are we looking at the same thing? Are you doing that weird thing? Are you closing one eye and then opening the other one? And that's why it's moving?
We're doing the pencil trick where we're making it look like rubber.
It's rubber.
It's rubber. Okay, let me tell this one story that I heard on a podcast that is pretty good evidence that maybe there's something to the near-death experience. Now, I went back today to find that podcast and re-listen to it. And I couldn't find it because the podcast that it was on, he's an asshole apparently, and he only, after about 20 episodes, he only does his last 20 episodes. Then he puts it behind a paywall.
Yeah, there's a lot like that.
If you do that, you're an asshole. You're a cock-munching motherfucker.
I mean, that's what Patreon's for. Like, just have add-on shit.
We will never do that. Episode 1 will always be available unless there's something we get into storage space. But it's on YouTube.
Fuck you guys. Give us money or you don't get shit.
But anyway, so I'm going to have to do this by memory. So I'm going to paraphrase the whole story.
Oh, this is turning into a shit show now. Yeah. Phil's got to do stuff by memory.
Yes,
either of us having to do shit. The only thing I can do by memory is fucking
this. If I remember the story correctly, now don't interrupt me. I want to get through this. Nope. There was a gentleman that was a psychiatrist or psychologist, whatever. You're a fucking asshole. God, you're such an asshole. He was on duty. And he was eating lunch or dinner or whatever.
Sorry, but here we go. Here we go with the excuses. Gonzo's watching the Chiefs game.
Well, we would like to be watching the Chiefs game. No, but we are here.
What's the score, dick?
We are here.
Now that you were so rude to interrupt Phil's story.
Exactly, you mother.
Carry on, Philium.
But so he was working in a hospital.
Okay. I'm talking even though I don't have the microphone in front of me.
Well, that's good. They can't hear your ass.
Okay, go on.
You're a fucking prick.
How bad do you think it would be if I did a whole episode like that? The microphone over there. So he murdered the whole family, and then he shat in their skulls. Only 3 of them. He used the other ones as cereal bowls.
Anyway, this doctor was eating. He got a page that started him. He spilled spaghetti on his white lab coat. Okay, he's a psychiatrist. He goes.
He's a psychiatrist and he was wearing a lab coat?
Yeah, the white doctor. Yes, I don't know.
If I walked into a psychiatrist's office and they were wearing a lab coat, I'd be like, no, fuck you. You're going to harvest my organs. Your name is fucking Gregor and you are a KGB operative.
He was on duty, on call.
What are we talking about? Fucking Krieger from Archer?
I don't watch this fucking gay ass shit.
Whoa, trigger words.
I don't give
we have to be politically correct.
But I thought gay meant happy. Layla, I don't want to hear your shit either.
Archer does make me happy, so I can accept
that.
I accept that.
Anyway, I'm 50 years old almost. I'll use whatever verbiage I like.
I'm just saying. You do you, boo-boo. I'm going for those views. Are you okay over there?
I don't fucking know. We're about ready to wrap it up as soon as I get through the story, so we'll be done by 10.
I was going to say, it's probably going to be damn near another hour.
Okay, he gets a call. It scares him. His pager goes off, and he spills spaghetti on his white thingy-mabopper. He goes. The girl's unconscious. She was in a bad accident, and they wanted to get I guess I could be getting this wrong. For some reason, he was called in. I don't know why. She was unconscious. I guess she started to pass away. I guess they said, we're losing her.
I'm not going to believe this story if you don't tell me that the next thing he did was start pounding on her chest with a closed fist like, you're not doing this to me.
No.
I've already lost 3 patients this week. No. Damn you.
Her friend was there in the room. He takes the friend.
Why the fuck was she there?
She took her to the hospital. I guess I don't fucking know. Jesus Christ! Why are you asking me?
This story's got a lot of holes in it. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm doing it by memory because fucktard took.
That's what we're here for, Phil. We're here to cut through the bullshit and get to the reality of the story.
But anyway,
get this guy on the phone.
Anyway,
we need to hash some details.
He interviews the friend about her in another room.
Go on. I'm gonna see if
she's right over there. Yeah, maybe I can get through this story now with you fucking leaving, you jackass. So basically what happens, he interviews this lady or her friend, and the girl in the other room who had all the injuries had an NDE. She comes to the next day. Long story short, she talks to this guy like she's met him. She remembers him interviewing the friend. She remembered him being in the room. She, like I said, interviewing the friend in a different room. She picked out what he was wearing. You're a goddamn prick. Fuck this story. I quit. No.
I didn't do anything. I just walked back on camera.
But I think this is, this girl knew things. When he spoke to her the next day, like she was fully awake in the room, and then in another room. That's very interesting. Now,
see, but my problem with that is a lot of those stories like that are just the same shit. It's just regurgitated over and over again. It's just a different person, place, and time.
What makes it more interesting is that she remembers stuff that in another room that she was never in. That's what makes it interesting. Like,
is she a twin?
No,
okay.
Not that I know of. That like she floated out of her body.
You know where my mind was going with that, though.
Well, we'll get into that in a second when we do SDEs, not STDs, which we know you've had abundance of.
STDs?
Yes.
You know, allegedly.
But the fact that she knew stuff in another room is what makes it very interesting to me.
I'm going to need paperwork to back up these scathing indictments.
You about your STDs?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that makes it interesting. The other now, if it was just in that room, in the room she was at.
If the condom don't fit, you will catch shit.
Okay. If it was just in the other room, then perception, even during death, you're so conscious of that explains a lot of it. But
Yeah, and like, that's what I'm saying. That's why I hate these stories, because it's just like a fishing story.
But that's what makes
it goes through this person and that. It's like a game of telephone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because okay, maybe that is true, but the girl's brain hadn't died yet, or she maybe wasn't dead, and then she's like, she heard us talking. Well, yeah, she was still alive, and like she knew stuff from the other room. Meanwhile, in the other room, there's like somebody there's somebody that had like a massive head trauma, and they're testing to see if they're deaf. Like, how did she know what was going on in the other room? And in the other room, you got a doctor standing there with a guy bleeding from the ears. And he's like, Tim! Can you hear me? No, I can't. What?
I think, but that is
like, that's mind blowing. She heard what was going on in the other room.
The fact that she heard the interview and knew what was being talked about in the other room, or it wasn't even the next room, it was down the hall.
Yeah.
Or I think it might have even been in his office.
It was 2 counties away.
It was 15 buildings over in another state. Fuck,
15 billions over?
Billions.
It was 15 billion miles away. Yes. That's impossible.
I don't know.
Because the Earth's only...
Depends on how many times you go around that motherfucker. Or
you have to go around a lot.
Or if it's flat back and forth.
You have to go around a lot.
I know. Anyway, that makes it more interesting to me. Now, if it was just inside the room where she was at, it's interesting, but it can be...
It's one of those things like you can't disprove. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can disprove in the world, like just speaking from a realistic standpoint, you can be like, that's fucking horse shit. Like that's impossible. But they don't fucking know.
But that makes it more interesting. And this next topic, before we cut this podcast, we go into the bullshit session of this podcast.
Start talking to people from the live chat, which I know Gregory's new here. We do most of the interaction before and after, just to keep the continuity of the story. Minus me
being an asshole. No, but anyway,
doing what I does.
Now, SDEs, shared death experiences.
SIDS.
Not sudden infant death syndrome.
This is the saddest thing in the world.
But that is very... I mean, I guess it's like sympathy pains in pregnancy. I don't fucking know.
Which, like, I could see that, because I've watched shit. Like, I can, like, it doesn't happen often, but I've definitely seen stuff or been around stuff that's happened, and like I see, like, you see somebody snap their leg in half. Like, I've had that moment where, like, it's almost like your leg starts to hurt just watching it and thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Well, like today I was watching...
But it's really, I mean, what would that be? Like, cognitive perception of pain, maybe?
Yeah, like today, imagine this.
Big words.
I was watching
porn?
TikTok.
Same.
Pretty much. But no, it had a lady like on a bungee cord rope walking across a rickety bridge, with missing planks.
Oh, you got that like stomach drop feeling?
I got that, but
is it one of those ones where they do it and like knowing that they're going to fall through with one of them? Yeah.
But as I could feel the teeter.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is...
I don't know. See, I don't have that, but I've watched those where I'm watching them. Like it's one of those ones where I don't feel the physical situation of being in it, but it's crazy how stuff like that, like even though you're watching a video and you know what's going to happen, like they fall through and you're just like, whoa, my asshole just fell out. It's like I just went over a hill really fast in a car.
Now, the most common one for men is you see a guy get kicked in the nuts. You feel that shit.
Yeah.
You feel that shit.
They said that they did testing and that getting kicked in the balls, like actually kicked in the balls, is comparable to certain periods of childbirth. Not childbirth as a whole, but there's like, I guess, some period like up to this point, it's a comparable pain. I'm not taking anything away from childbirth. I've never pooped out a child like a lot of women in this world have. My butthole doesn't stretch that far. And as we all know, Only women have that power to stretch their butthole far enough to give birth. Because that's how it works.
Obviously, you failed health class in high school.
That's how it works, Phil.
It's not the butthole.
It's called science.
Now, by the time childbirth is over, the butthole and it's combined.
The Virginia.
Yes, I was going to use a dirty word, but I didn't want to use a dirty word and offend the lovely people in the podcast. But basically, it's all one after that, depending on the size of the head and the baby. You got a fat kid coming through.
True story. I was the smallest out of the 5.
What happened?
Ramen noodles and depression. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yes.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
I have mommy issues and my dad's dead. You want to talk about that too?
How does that make you feel?
Why don't you ask me about the spot I used to cry in my house when my parents fought? I still remember that.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, man.
Where we go? What was that? But I
do actually vividly remember the place I used to cry when my parents would fight, though.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah. It was right in the formal dining room. There's a table, one of those really 90s asshole tables where it was like fake ass bamboo that was stained, and then it had a wicker bindings around it, and it had the slightly green glass top. But it was between that and the little piece of wall that had the thermostat on it. Holy shit, moon unit. What's up, pumpkin? You missed it. I showed my butthole 5 minutes ago.
He says he was in law enforcement, and kicking in the nuts in Texas is considered deadly force. No shit, I've been kicked in the nuts. It's no fun.
You worked in law enforcement? Yo, we should have him. I would love to. It's not even related to the paranormal and shit. I just guarantee you he's got some cool stories.
He's probably got some paranormal stories too.
I want to try to fucking
UFO.
Not to be totally dick riding, because
who you love to
dick
ride.
In a way, you could make the argument that we are a lightweight knockoff Brohio, but
there ain't nothing lightweight about us, baby.
But I say all the time, they're much more comedy based.
Oh, I thought you were talking about physical size.
No, but because I could see how people would make that connection. But but not to totally dick ride them. They got that. I would love to talk, not even on the podcast. It wouldn't even have to be on the podcast, but I would love to talk to that Lou Velozzi guy. Did you see or hear that? The retired ATF undercover guy that they interviewed? Dude, listen to that episode. That motherfucker, he did that straight up Wild Wild West undercover shit. It was so interesting to talk. I would love to just not even for a podcast episode. I would just go get a beer with that dude and be like, tell me everything about everything right now. All the shit. It was his life was a movie, to the point that they even talked about how he was yeah, you get too far into it and a lot of guys don't understand it. And there's guys that pull guns on their wives because they're still in that mind space. And they're like, oh, I gotta stop. Anyway, getting kicked in the nuts is deadly force. It hurts.
Oh,
even just I did.
There's a
funny story. I was at a St. Vincent de Paul. What?
Doing your community service?
No, thrifting.
Oh, okay.
Because dude. Have you been to the thrift store lately? You can dress very fashionably for very cheap. Literally, the suit jacket that I bought for the wedding that I went to at the end of last year, I found this same suit jacket for $7 at the thrift store. I paid $160 for that fucking thing.
Ain't that a bitch?
The same jacket. But anyway, I was there, and speaking of getting hit in the nuts, saw it. I was walking around just being, the human cart, carrying stuff for better half. And she's looking at stuff, and there's another couple there, and he went to do something, and he dropped his hand, and he nutted himself, and he was like, oh, and both of us were she started to laugh, and he just made dead eye contact with me. I was like, I saw it. I seen it.
I feel you, brother. I feel you.
I do that shit all the time. And it's always me just being motherfucker. And then I drop it, and one of my knuckles just directly on my ball.
And plus you sit on your nuts all the time.
I do. It's because I have thunder thighs. And because as we all know, my nuts are 22.5 inches long.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because it's actually kind of funny
when they call me the knee slapper. It's not my dick, it's my balls.
Because it's funny when it happens. Because you can tell it happens. You get this look on your face.
Or I just go, huh? Like as soon as I sit, because that shit hurts, man. Don't act like you've never done. It's not that I sit on my balls. It's that like I turn and like I wasn't joking about the thunder thighs thing. That's why it happens. We can both attest to the fact that I have fucking spiral cut honey baked ham thighs. I'm fucking thick with it.
Damn, I'm going bald.
You're just realizing that?
That's why I wear a hat all the time. Fuck
it.
I don't give a fuck.
I like the beard though.
I think I'm gonna keep it.
Oh, you definitely should.
I
You
think
should Walter White that shit. Go goatee bald.
I'm thinking.
And then every time somebody's like, "Hey Phil," just literally don't speak to humans anymore. The only thing you say to anybody ever is, "I am the one who knocks." Okay, what are we talking about?
It's just going to be how long it's going to get.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing the down to about right here.
The whole Santa beard.
No, getting it down to about right
That
here.
could be your side hustle in the winter. You could be like the Billy Bob Thornton Santa.
I could be.
You get drunk, piss on yourself.
Yeah. What were we
I'm on my fucking lunch break, okay?
Oh, that's right. We were talking about
shared death experiences.
Yes. Now, that makes it interesting because I heard a story, of people actually seeing like the life review, actually seeing that as well, who didn't die.
What if you get somebody else's?
They're getting that other person's.
Oh, like they're switching?
No, like say you die.
Yeah.
Or you're having an NDE. You're having your life review. In my head, it's playing too. Like that.
So it's kind of like when the brothers in Boondock Saints have that dream in jail.
I've never seen it.
What? You never seen Boondock Saints?
No.
What? You gotta watch Boondock Saints. It's a great movie. Great film.
Now I would expect this like with twins.
Yeah.
Identical, not that fraternal bullshit. That fraternal, you just got cooked in the same oven at the same time.
Well, I mean, arguably, fraternal twins would potentially have the same connections.
Different. I mean, identical twins are basically doppelgangers. Same DNA.
I don't know. Anytime I see identical twins, I want to ask if one of them has a bigger dick.
No, they should not.
And I'm really looking forward to that answer for their women. Which one of you has a bigger dick? Well, like, hold the fucking phone here.
How do you know about that one? No.
And you have dicks?
But I would expect identical twins, or even I'll go fine, fraternal twins too.
I mean, like you would think that they would kind of be the same deal.
Yes, because I've heard of them feeling each other's pain. From across the country, whatever. That makes sense to me. If they would have a shared death experience.
Yeah, like one of them gets in a car crash and the other one like wakes up in the middle of the night like
right. But just to another loved one or whatever, I'm sure you have to have some sort of connection with them to
see. That's what I'm saying. Like, unless it's something totally out of the realm of what we understand in the world of science and shit, you would have to be twins or something like that, or siblings that are literally 9 months and 3 days apart. You know what I mean? Like somebody that you're literally with your whole fucking life. That's the only way it would work.
There are some
other than that, you've got, this is a bad example, but it's the first one that pops into my mind. You've got almost like a cognitive stigmata situation going on.
Well, there are some people that believe we are all
cognimata.
We are all jacked into the same system.
You said jacked.
I know. But
that means masturbate.
You were all jacking off at the same time. No.
And now we're getting to the real subject of this podcast: masturbation. If you do it, God's mad and you're going to hell.
Okay.
You go to hell once for every time you masturbate. We're going to hell about 600,000 times
this week alone.
I'd be interested in it. Like, there's got to be like 15,000 just in your adolescence. You know those days where you just hit it till it's raw?
Yeah.
I like to tell people that the calluses I have on my hands are from my job and from playing drums.
No.
It's from me old cock and balls.
What was I saying?
It's from chalking the pool stick.
I was about ready to say something.
Jerking the gherkin.
Brilliant, and you fucked it up.
Milking the trouser snake. Go ahead.
Moon,
I'll read.
Oh, I was gonna. No, we gotta read that. Moon Unit also says cops can't even hit you in the nuts until they have exhausted all other options in defense.
So are you saying that a cop can shoot me before he kicks me in
The
the
nuts?
nuts?
Or this would have.
Why doesn't that come up in court? Why'd you shoot that young man, officer? Hey, I didn't kick him in the nuts, did I?
Hey, maybe I won't make that joke. That might be a little much for this. That
I'm pretty sure I made that joke last week. Or one of them when you were talking about the kid that ran into the burning house and gave somebody the Heimlich. And you were like, he was young. Davion was recognized as an official member of the police force and the fire department. I was like, oh shit, they didn't shoot him?
Oh, what was that?
As is tradition.
Yes.
Not all the time. Before we get into it, I'm not anti-fucking cops. I'm anti-bad cops. Just like I'm anti-bad janitors. If you suck at your fucking job, you get to do another job.
I'm anti-bad podcasters. That's why I do not like us.
Like, subscribe, comment, follow.
Please
hit that notification bell so you know every time we go live.
Leave a review. No, what was I saying? I had this one brilliant comment about SDEs. Fuck, I lost it.
You were talking about the twins thing.
No, it's gone. It's oh no, we're all connected. We're all jacked in to the
oh yeah, that's where it all started. The jacked in
like
comment.
The Akashic records.
We're LinkedIn. Check us out on LinkedIn.
We just can't know because I forgot the password. I'll get a notification.
We're all Kevin Costners.
I'll get a notification.
I don't want to be a Kevin Costner.
No, but
he caught that. He caught that cancel culture shit.
Did he get canceled? Kevin Costner got canceled?
Oh no, not Kevin Costner. I was thinking of Kevin Spacey.
Oh well,
I still think that's fucking bullshit. You got cancel culture going around, and then Kevin Spacey comes up, and they're like, "You did this," and he's like, "Well, I'm gay." Like, what the fuck? That just makes it go away. No, Kevin Spacey, fuck you.
Is that the official get out of jail free card?
Right. Like, we think you might have touched young boys on movie sets. I'm gay, so.
Oh, okay.
And everybody's just like, fuck. He pulled. It's like when they call parlay in fucking Pirates of the Caribbean. Everybody's like, shit.
But what was? Oh, but you know, if we are all jacked into the same system, we are all connected to the Akashic records or whatever. You know,
the what?
You've heard of the Akashic records, have you?
Oh, is that the Are they the ones that that signed Kendrick Lamar?
No, you don't know what you are fucking around. You know what the Akashic records are. I did an episode on. Do you not listen to old podcasts?
Not yours.
Are you saying they suck?
No, I've got enough shit.
No, okay.
On my mind with what we currently have to do.
Okay. Quick.
All the podcasts I listen to are strictly to make me laugh at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Akashic records are basically all the information, all what has happened, what will ever happen, is in the ether. Okay. Like you've heard the story of Tesla. How he says
Nikola Tesla.
How he says he did not. This information was given to him.
Yeah.
There are some believe that he just tapped into the Akashic records.
Does that come into the argument of the whole Nikola Tesla, Alexander Graham Bell thing too?
Probably, but in like
because they had beef.
But we can all like everything you have done and will do is in the Akashic records. Everything I have done and will do is in the Akashic records.
So it's basically just
it's like a big.
It is the intellectual book of dry snitching.
It's like a cosmic Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Wicked.
Think of it like the mainframe. It's the mainframe, and we are all hooked to the mainframe. You know,
we're all jacked into the mainframe.
We're Wi-Fi. We're Bluetoothed on to that bitch. So if that is in fact correct, which I don't know, it's great in theory, it makes sense. But if we're all jacked into it, then we all probably could experience something like that. The SDEs. I keep wanting to go SDD.
Solid state drive?
Yes.
We're all on the same SSD.
But you know, the shared death experience. Maybe there's something to that. I don't know. I don't make this shit up. Like unlike you and your fucking chickens with 18.
Dude, look it up. There was a chicken that lived in like an extended period of time without a head.
And what was the other one I gotta look up?
Oh, Jeff the Talking Mongoose.
Yeah, no, what was Jeff the Talking Mongoose? I don't know. Anyway, all right.
Stormy Daniels.
No, I think that's all I got on NDEs. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we?
Hold on, let's see what Moon Unit said. He said, or she, yeah, it's a he. I think I remember that. I believe it's called entanglement. The theory all things may be connected. I think it's a big part of prayer if you are religious, not religious. And as we all know, that's not what entanglement is. Entanglement is what Jada Pinkett Smith had with August Alsina. Duh.
Moon Unit, I think you are correct. I believe you are right.
Wasn't that a Disney movie?
Entanglement?
Yeah.
I just thought it was your nuts. They're getting
What,
entangled around.
entanglement?
Yeah.
No, testicular torsion is no laughing matter. That's a real thing.
Does it have a month and a ribbon color?
It should. That shit sucks. Like you can barely walk with text. It's literally when your ball spins.
Oh, no,
I came in like a red.
no, but maybe we'll do an episode on the Akashic Records with you. Let you research it.
I'd really like to see what artists they have signed.
God damn.
Is this a local record company?
I don't get paid enough for this shit. This is why I drink, people.
A caustic. Why that word?
And you know what? This beard was jet fucking black
Until the dye ran out.
until he fucking came along. Now look at me.
It was not, you fucking liar.
Dude, I just spilled my fucking beer.
Good.
Hey, I had sewer problems.
That was your caustic record right there.
Anyway.
Mic drop.
No, that was a cap drop, bitch.
No cap, as the kids say.
That's all I got on near-death experiences. We got a couple minutes. Where you want to? We got about 10 minutes. Unless you want to get out of here.
Why is it spicy? Does anybody have anything they want to talk about? We actually have viewers this time.
Yeah, happy joy.
Because we're finally back to a normal time on a normal day. Not.
But while we
like,
got you guys,
that is the best part. I love being done with this, and that like I can still get food if I want to,
Right.
or like literally anything.
I know.
Like it's not fucking 10:45 by the time I roll out of here.
I agree. That's what I like. This I can get this fucking episode out on the podcast feed,
just like my dick. Get it out. The people need it in their lives.
Yes. What was I going to say? Fuck. Senior
Apparently,
moment.
we're going to say fuck.
Senior moment. Oh,
you're not that old yet.
Be sure to everybody, since we're wrapping her up here,
we will stay on, have some bullshit sessions.
Hit all.
I don't know if Gregory's still in here, but
hit all the social medias because Travis is working hard on the clips now.
Now that I know how to do it,
and
I'm making our own memes with our own watermarks on them now.
Where the fuck?
I'm fucking pissed that one didn't do better.
Which one?
I posted the depression and anxiety meme, where it's like the two anime
water?
people. Yeah. Oh, Gregory is here. Yeah. Oh, I was just saying I didn't know if he was still here because at the beginning and now, well, after we kind of kill the show, is where if you're in the live stream, usually where the interaction is going to happen.
But
the video, by the way.
Be sure to follow.
Ow.
Be sure to follow us on TikTok and even I'm putting the YouTube shorts as well. Which be sure to watch YouTube shorts and like because we are getting some motherfuckers that aren't liking our shit. We can still see. They can't see the dislikes
on the videos.
I don't know if they can see. I know on videos they can't see it. Oh, that's right. But on shorts they can see it. We got one video. It's 50-50. It was the last one up because I try to put those up after you. I don't want to get ahead of you.
It's impossible.
No, with those ones you did.
Yeah.
I try to put them up.
Well, because I'm sitting on one.
Right.
We both know the one I'm sitting on. I'm waiting for one of those peak post times that has an asterisk next to it to get the most views on that because that motherfucker is funny. So
the last one. So if you post on TikTok, I
posted the Game of Thrones one.
That's the last one I think I got.
Yeah.
I posted. You posted 2 so far of those.
No,
you did.
I haven't done the Neil deGrasse Tyson one or the Moose one.
Yeah, that's the Game of Thrones one.
Well, I posted that one multiple ways.
Oh, maybe I did just do the one. Okay, whatever. But bottom line is follow us on the social medias. That way you can like those shorts that we're doing.
Oh yeah, just random
TikTok.
stuff. I'm gonna get better about doing like day-to-day content. You know, trends and such. Which, speaking of trends, you don't like hot food? Because apparently there's this spicy, some type of
I
spicy,
like hot food.
it's like a challenge sandwich at Arby's, and it is trending like a motherfucker.
I heard it's not that hot though.
Let's do it then. Better than my other option was the one chip challenge.
Well, what's one chip?
It is one chip in a bag inside of a box that's shaped like a coffin.
I'll do the Arby's challenge with you.
Yeah.
I don't mind hot shit. I'm just
as long as it tastes good. Like I'll be sweating and shit, but like if it tastes good, I don't mind.
Especially now I got the sewer unblocked. I don't mind doing the hot shit.
You just blow it the fuck up.
Actually, that it was hot enough. I guess it would have just.
Apparently, we made moon units night.
Hey, that's why we're here.
I'll moon your unit.
Why you gotta turn it sexual?
Sexual connotations.
And we won't.
Yeah, it's been a while since I dropped that one. Wonder where that fucking.
We have a big we won't mention our announcement. Well, next week there's a big announcement. Next live stream. So be sure to
not even.
Yeah,
it'll be up this.
Next week.
Yeah, I'm saying it'll probably be up before ours.
Probably
before we go live.
Probably, but they won't know. We have a big announcement next Sunday.
Big for us, at least. About 3 inches.
Hey, don't cut my half off, damn it.
As if it's warm out.
So, like I said earlier, we are going to try to be a little bit more organized. We're going to
organized.
We're going to plan out these episodes from here on out. That way we can let you guys know what we're doing before you even get here. So I think
it would help me be able to do like fucking social media posts too.
Right. That way, yeah. And plus doing
party emoji.
Who's partying? Nobody's partying.
That's better half.
I know who it is, but who's partying?
Oh no, the first thing I thought of was Keanu Reeves in Hardball. When he wore that shitty suit that was too old and didn't fit him right. And he walked into the classroom to talk about the book. And he was like, hey, coach, why don't you invite your pants down to your shoes so they can party?
So I think I'm done. Whatever. You got anything you want to talk about?
Unless somebody in the chat's got something. My mental bandwidth has pretty much been taken up at this point between work and I gotta go to work tomorrow. I have no weekend. I don't even have 2 days off in a row. It's stupid. I have stupid days off.
Welcome to real fucking life. I didn't have any fucking days off this weekend. I've worked in the shitter all fucking weekend.
That's elective. You chose that life.
I did not choose to have you block my fucking toilet.
You've never fixed a toilet. You don't know how to fix a toilet.
Trust me, I know. I did this all myself.
You've never been to Honolulu.
Oh, no, I've never been to Honolulu. No. I had to go get I had to go rent an industrial snake to get through that shit.
Literally.
Literally. Just a little handheld snake that I have over here it hit a wall. Wasn't breaking it. I had to go rent it. Those motherfuckers are expensive to rent.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to break up that I don't even know what that shit would be made of.
Shit.
Poopy farts.
Oh, yes. So, I mean, you might as well finish that. I'll finish this beer and we'll get the fuck out of here. We'll hit our closing credits.
We have closing credits?
No, we don't.
We should.
Well, if OBS or Streamlabs would fucking work, we would.
I'm just saying we should make some so it actually scrolls. It'll be like executive producer.
I could do that.
Produced by Travis and Phil. Written by Travis and Phil.
We can do
starring Travis and Phil. John Leguizamo.
that. If we loaded the videos up, we could do that. I could do that. I could do a lot of shit.
This is stupid. It's like not even enough whiskey to be worth it.
There's a Fireball in there. You want some?
Oh God, no.
I didn't even go to the bar this weekend.
You didn't, because I was there for a little bit last night. Like I said, not long, but I was just watching some of the game.
I was too pissed off last night.
I was just watching some of the game, and I honestly, it started. I was just people watching because you had a bunch of drunk Bengals fans. Just, dude, like I saw. It's so funny. You see that weird behavior. Like there's a regular. You don't know him. He's daytime, but like older guy, heavy set, super nice guy. But like usually when he gets there, he walks to the Keno machine, and then he walks back. He goes to the bathroom every once in a while, and he goes back. Dude, like I would hear people screaming out there while I was working in the kitchen. And that's my fucking sign. I'll go out there, see what's going on, see if there was like a crazy play I want to see. And like that guy's like 10 feet away from his bar stool. And he's just walking around like, yes, yes. And I'm like,
I take that back. I did go to the bar Friday night.
our bar?
Yeah.
Did you?
I went there like
I didn't work.
6:30. I ordered food to go.
Yeah.
And had like 2 talls.
Oh, we need to hook up. We need to link up with Tyler too.
I know.
Now that he's old enough to drink.
Happy birthday. Let us know when you're free.
Happy birthday like a month ago.
I think
we wished him a happy birthday.
Yeah, that day, yeah. Because we want to hear about your near-death experience.
Also, yes.
We're going to have to hook up and do that. What was it? What else? Yeah, but I went for just ordered the food to go.
Yeah.
And my favorite bartender forgot to put it in. She forgot me.
Which one? The blonde one?
Yeah.
She's got a lot on her plate. What?
She's got a lot on her plate.
She does.
But she forgot. I had to give her shit. I thought I was important. Apparently, I'm not that fucking important.
Did you literally give her shit? Did you pull like a baggie that you snaked out of your toilet and just smacked her in the face with it?
Yes. I said, I'm not that fucking important apparently now anymore. I was like, I'd expect this out of the other bartender.
I don't know who else was there that night.
Yeah, you do. Friday night? Who normally works Friday nights?
I don't work Fridays. That's one of my days off.
Blonde and landlord.
Oh, yeah.
Dumbass.
Derp. Because I remember I went home that night and I was like, oh, yeah, she's working tonight.
Dumbass. God.
Fail. Jesus.
All right. We hit 2 hours. We're out.
I need a cigarette.
All right. We thank everybody that showed up in the live stream. That is still in the live stream. Thank you for sticking around for our shenanigans. We greatly appreciate it. Be sure to
like, comment, subscribe, share. Instagram, ghost_night_podcast. Twitter, night_ghosts.
Yes.
TikTok, gitn.podcast. Facebook, just look us the fuck up.
Ghost of the
YouTube,
night.
just look us the fuck up. You're already here anyway.
Yes. Be sure to subscribe.
LinkedIn, doesn't fucking matter. Don't have the password for it. Whatever the fuck the new one is that I've never heard of.
I'll show you. We're on Getter. I forget. It's like GITN podcast, I think.
Man,
but it's
worked really hard on that one, huh?
Well, I'm trying to keep it all somewhat similar. I was going to make it.
I've just gotten to the point where I've just adopted GITN.
I was actually, when I set it up, I was going to make it .podcast, just like Twitter, and kind of make that kind of the thing now. But you can't use characters like that.
Bunch of fucking bitches,
assholes. But if you want to support the podcast, go to patreon.com/GITN podcast. $2
or whatever the long ass fucking merchandise website is. Link in the description.
Yes, it'll be in the description. Be sure to go to however you take in the podcast. Go whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favorite one. We're on most of them, I believe.
And tell your friends you'll buy them lunch if they let you get on their phone and subscribe and leave a review on their phone.
Yes, leave us a review.
I do it all the time.
A positive review. We would greatly appreciate it. That probably helps out the most, except for this one thing. Be sure to share this video or the podcast, however you want to do it. Be sure to share it with your friends. You all know one degenerate that likes dick and fart jokes.
If you don't share this fucking episode, you will stub all 5 of your toes on both feet every day for the next 6 months.
All right. Or Travis will come over and clog up your shitter.
Fucking
Not even your shitter,
you
your sewer pipe.
goddamn cisgendered male pieces of shit.
All right, we're out here. Say goodnight, Travis.
Eat a bag of dicks. Love you.
Works for me. Actually,